As we leave the RV park, we head north on Eads Mill Road to Beckley, and then we turn south to Mullens, then to Princeton and back again. Along the way, we have some close encounters with some vehicles that have crossed the lane into our lane of traffic, and we also have some wildlife that we see that kind of startles us along the way. Sit back and enjoy this ride. It's beautiful. The scenery is just fantastic. The weather was nice this day, and we had a great time. This road to the right takes you to Brush Creek Falls. The area contains waterfalls, a swimming area below the falls, and hiking trails. It's a beautiful area, and if you get a chance to go there, I highly recommend it. Coming up on the right, you will see a deer pop out of the woods. I'm so glad that it turned back to the right because I think I would have hit it otherwise. As we ride along here, the camera just does not do this area justice. It is so beautiful. It's just so lush and green. Lorena and I were talking about this area and what it would be like in the fall. I bet these rides through here are just absolutely gorgeous in the fall. Maybe in a couple of years, we'll make our way back up here and ride these areas and see what the fall foliage looks like. As we round this corner, you're going to see a bridge overhead. This bridge supports north and southbound traffic of Highway 77 and spans the river that is to our left. This next section of the roadway contains lots of twists and turns. You'll notice in the video that I'm hugging the right side of the road and I'm going pretty slow. That is to avoid oncoming traffic that is on our side of the road. That has happened to us multiple times, and so we're really cautious through these areas. Coming up on the right, we're going to pass 3 crosses. The crosses are called Coffendorfer crosses and named after Bernard Coffendorfer, the Marine veteran who spent his life fortune erecting these crosses. There's 1,864 sets in 29 states. There's 352 in West Virginia, which is the most of any state. The crosses were erected to remind us of the crucifixion of Christ. I will place a link in the description of this video if you'd like to read more about the crosses. This next section was a blast to ride. The corners were smooth and you could maintain your speed. That's a pretty steep grade. It's fun to put the motorcycle in a lower gear and let it hold you back as you go around the corners. It always amazes me when I see these roads carved out of solid stone. I don't know how they do that, but that's incredible. Look once, look twice, then look again. The life I save might be my own or my wifey's. Not sure how my wife spun around in her seat to get you that shot, but that's pretty cool. This is the town of Mullens, West Virginia. Mullens was incorporated on 9/17/1912. It has a population of 1,475. It was nearly destroyed by a flash flood in 2001. The original development of this town came from the coal mining and lumber industry. There was also an engine terminal and yard facilities for the Virginian Railway that was founded by none other than Henry Rogers, which you learn about in one of our previous videos. You can hear the excitement in my wife's voice as we pull up to this stop sign. She loves driving around these old towns, and I have to admit, so do I. You can tell from looking that this town has been hit hard economically. There are a lot of abandoned buildings and everything. When I was reading about this town after the flood in 2001, a large number of their residents left town. They are trying to rebuild. There is a lot of commerce from ATV riders that come into town. And when we can, we always try to stop and eat lunch or do something to contribute to the economy in the area. The houses along this street are very well maintained, and you can tell that many of the residents take pride in their homes and their property, and they like their town that they live in. At the end of this street was a school that we turned around in front of, and that was some really neat architecture for that school as well. This was the town that was nearly destroyed by a flash flood in 2001.
Is that why it's so abandoned?
Yeah, they're still rebuilding.
Can't hear you.
They're still rebuilding. I don't know that it'll ever probably come back completely, but the river's right there.
So they have a little map here. And I took my little pen, and there it is. Right there. Looks like a lot of people from London, Hungary, Germany. Pretty cool. All right.
So when we were leaving the RV park today, we pulled out onto the road and
Almost got killed.
yeah, almost got wiped out. There was a Ford F-250 and he was in our lane, and I think he was watching the ATV that was to our left and nearly ran over us. We were a second from going into the ditch. So now, look at the fear in her face. She's still scared from that.
I was shaking. It took me a good 15, 20 minutes to settle down from that because that freaked me out. Y'all don't understand. So here's the road, and there's a 1.5 feet before it goes off into
maybe 10 feet into a ditch.
Well, no, there was literally 1.5 feet from the road to the edge where we almost, and then there's a 6-inch drop. So Kevin didn't want to get the bike on that 6-inch drop because that would have been bad, because then it's like steep down. So yeah, that freaked me out.
Yeah, it was a close call. Probably our closest call ever. And he was, what would you say, going maybe 40, 35 or 40?
No, I don't think it's going that fast. I think maybe 20, 25.
But it was close.
But it sure felt like 40 or 50, because it would have felt like that.
But it was all I could do to avoid him. And then thank goodness he woke up and saw us.
At the nick of time. I mean, literally, he was 1.5 feet from your front wheel.
Yeah.
And then let's not mention the deer that was to the right of me. And I did film that, by the way, so you'll see that in the video.
Well, the deer wasn't that big of a deal.
It was freaked out. The deer was freaked out.
But I could see that he wasn't going to come in front of us.
Well, we didn't know that, though.
I knew that because I could see him looking at me.
Kevin reads deer.
Yeah, I could see him looking at me. So he knew
He
we
understands deer.
The only deer I don't understand is the one sitting across from me, deer.
I would shoot you some friendly fingers, but...
This is a very neat little town. I like riding to towns like this and checking them out. So we're going to head from here after lunch back to Princeton, West Virginia, and then we're going to go watch fireworks there this evening. So that'll be fun. So our lunch came. We got a brisket sandwich and house-made chips and house-made ranch. Lorena got a pork chicken sandwich with house-made chips and ranch. And what was stinging honey?
Stinging honey barbecue.
We're gonna give it a shot and see how it is. we noticed the dark clouds ahead, so we're going to pull over here and get our rain gear on and not wait to the last minute like we've done in the past. I really don't like driving in the rain. It's not a lot of fun. As you can see in this video, it becomes harder and harder to see. The roads are really slick and the rain actually hurts when it hits my hands, so I'm not a fan. We try to avoid it, but sometimes it's necessary to get where we're going. We rode for quite a way in the rain, but thankfully it finally let up and we were able to make our way back safely to the RV. After our ride, we went and hung out in downtown Princeton and watched the firework display. It was an interesting display because there was literally firework displays everywhere we looked. I guess the city of Princeton allows for residents to pop their own fireworks, and so they were everywhere. We didn't even know which ones was the city while we were watching the display.